Hi.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good to see you again.
You
Back on
too.
the air.
Hope,
Eyes of Indigo.
yes, and hopefully, yeah, we are running live on Facebook. I saw that come up, and so I'm gonna assume that YouTube is doing well too, because it usually is.
Is YouTube running one or two broadcasts? Because last time we had a parallel dimension going that
Yes.
that three or four of our guests were actually watching from there, and we didn't respond because we didn't know.
Oh my God. Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't realize they had done that. So yeah.
Four people were on there. Yeah. They actually could still see us apparently the whole time.
Oh, that was good, but yeah, I
Yeah.
hate to.
Just we couldn't see them. No worries. So
Crazy
yeah,
times. Crazy
it
times.
is. Technology is all kinds of crazy. So, welcome to the show, everyone. Hi to all of our regulars that are slowly checking in. We'll talk for a minute, but we also welcome any newcomers. We are happy to hear you and welcome to our future listeners that might hear this in recording later on, audio recording later on. This is Eyes of Indigo. I am Margot Ross Sears, and I co host with Iris Carter, our producer and director for the show as well. And let's see, during the show, we are live. So if you are with us live, please type in the comments or in the chat, hello, namaste, what the fuck, aloha, whatever works for you. And let us know that you're out there.
WTFFML.
If you're an initial kind of person and out swearing freaks you out, that's fine. We'll take initials because we are into sacred swearing here. Well, it's all part of the humor role. Absolutely. We have Donna checking in. She says, "Hi, ladies.
You
Hello,
know,
Donna. Good to see you again." And tonight, let's see. If you are new to the show and you want to know who is this Irish person, who is this Margot person, hi, Edie, and you want to see our credentials, please feel free to go back to the very first episode of Eyes of Indigo back in September of 2020, and it is called Prequel. And you can learn about our credentials very quick in a fast, 25, 30-minute um, episode that we rattle that off. You know what? We probably need to update it. It was 3 years ago, ours.
it wouldn't hurt to do one again, I guess.
We've added to that our credentials
I was
since
gonna say,
then.
yeah, we kind of built up a few since then, I think.
Yeah, we have for
But it gives
sure.
you our starting point. It gives you our
It
starting point.
definitely gives you our starting point. And you can learn more about us there instead of rattling it off now. And so for tonight, we are at the end of April, our last show for this month. Iris, where are we going tonight?
We're going on a journey. I want to say hello to Dale and Jeannie. Hey, good to see you here. Appreciate it.
Aloha, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, they're with Earth Star Spiritual Center. So look them up. They're really fascinating people and have lots of good stuff. Okay.
EarthStarSpiritualCenter.com. No, .org. .org. Yeah.
So tonight we decided we've talked about reveals before with movies and TV programs. We've mentioned it. Well, tonight we're going to turn up the music. We know that music stirs up our feelings and our emotions and memories, and everybody who listens, you can hear a song and it'll take you right back in time. But just because the song's got a good beat and you can dance to it, are we really listening? So we're going to explore some of the messages that are hidden inside some popular gems over time, and just kind of explore kind of what's under the surface in some of these songs, and what's on the surface and in your face that we don't even pay attention to. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're going to take us through a list of very popular artists that we all know about, and I wanted to rattle off some of the names of where you're gonna take us tonight, and ask you some poignant questions as we go. However, while we're doing that, for our audience, if you have questions, if you want something explained, Or if it makes you think of a song that sound, what about this one? Or it's a song that's a reveal. Please share that with us in the comments, ask our questions, and we'll do our best to hit all the questions as we go. And we would love that. We'd love for y'all to interact with us.
And don't be afraid to challenge too. If you're going, what crock of shit are you feeding us? We'll give you the flavor. I mean, we don't mind.
Yes. Never take anything at face value, guys. Use your discernment. If you've got a question, put it on the table. We are happy to discuss it. We do want to hear other opinions besides our own.
Yeah.
Which is why we do this live. That's why it's not pre-recorded. We do want to hear from you. So, namaste and thank you for coming out to play and coming into this cone of safety here as we discuss weird things in a rational way, which is our motto. That was the other.
Yeah.
There you go. Happy bluebird of happiness, weirdness actually. Bluebird of weirdness. Happy weirdness. He's our little buddy. And so, just to give you an over/under of the list of singing artists that Iris is going to touch on, I'm going to rattle off. Let's see, what is this? Probably like 10 names, and a lot of them you're gonna know, possibly all of them. Right off the bat, Little Nas X is another way.
Yeah,
Little X.
Add that X to it.
X is in there for a reason. Justin Bieber, Leonard Cohen, Rolling Stones, Simply Red, and Rick Astley. Elton John. We have touched on Yellow Brick Road before, but we're going to go way further than that. The Eagles, surprise. Michael Jackson, another surprise. Chasm included in that. Here's an interesting one. Credence Clearwater Revival is on this list. Also Green Day. So, as we go through these and you think of other songs that these artists have made, or you think of entirely different songs and artists, feel free to throw in and type it in the comments, please. And so starting off, Iris, where would you want to go first?
Well, let me explain first of all. I'm not going to play any of the music because as soon as I do, they'll shut us down. Yeah, we just don't want that to happen. But I'm going to show lyrics on the screen, and you'll have the name of the artist and the name of the song. And what I can do is at the end of the show, I can also type those in the comments and just add them after the show's over. But go either take notes yourself or wait for the list to appear and go look up the songs and watch the whole videos and things like that to see some of the stuff we're talking about. And sometimes just Googling the song, you'll see the conspiracy theories that come up around them. I'm not going to go for a swan dive into any of those, into the big conspiracies. I'll touch on a couple of them that came up, but I found the songs and kind of took away my own interpretation and then found more explanation about them and went, whoa. So,
it's worth it to dig in.
Yeah, yeah. But let's see, where do we want to go first? All right, here, I'm gonna go ahead. I don't know if I should. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. All right.
While you're choosing, Edie jumped in. She named one that I was thinking about. Imagine by John Lennon. She likes it, but Edie writes, but often wonders if people know what they are singing. Yeah.
Tell me your perspective, Margot, on that song.
We don't have 2 hours.
I mean, and I'm still.
You know what? Let me do it this way. Edie, type in a line or two of the lyrics that support your view of what is surprising that people don't know what they're singing. So instead of me talking, Edie, if you could, please type in a few of the lyrics that you're referring to, and it'd be easier to see if we're talking about the exact same thing.
Imagine no
Oh,
religion.
imagine no religion. Yeah. That's you know what, Iris, we're jumping over an elephant in the room. What is it that's trying to be revealed? Do you want to answer that question?
In that song or in general?
No, in general. What kind of reveals are we talking about?
Evil people in the world, evil beliefs, evil or wrongdoings and bad things that happen that people like to sweep under the rug, or things that are in plain sight that people don't pay attention to.
Such as?
Well, that's going
I
to
know
come out
you.
in some of the songs we're going to discuss, but
Ah, that's true. Um, we're talking about profound transgressions that go on that are usually justified with negative religions, and
some of them are
basically,
positive. I mean, there's just as much shit going on in positive religions as there is in negative religions. So actually, when I see um um Imagine No Religion, I kind of cheered for that one. In the sense that,
yeah,
imagine that, in my
it's
mind,
easy
imagine that
if
we just
you try.
believed that we are all part of one, and that we all understood that we're all part of one from that perspective, rather than
Right.
having religions telling us what to do. And, organized religion is synonymous with organized crime, in my opinion. And so, yeah, imagine
Yes.
there's no religion. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, I'm there. But I also know that, like Jerry Falwell and some that were saying, "What? Take religion away? No, you're saying that we should all be fascists and
No, we're saying you should be spiritual, not
yeah,
religious. Yeah.
yeah." So is that not what John Lennon was saying? Be spiritual,
We
or
don't
was he
know.
saying,
Dude's
yeah,
dead. It's interpretation. It's interpretation.
yeah?
Edie knows about organized religion. I know her spirit, her childhood upbringing, and so on.
Thank you, Edie.
And Edie completely agrees with you. And yeah, organized religion she is not a fan of organized religion. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
And she gets where you're going with that.
Okay, so I
Absolutely.
just wondered if I didn't know if at first she was alluding to people don't know what they're singing because they're praying for no religion, and they're praying for, imagine, um there's no hunger and there's no this, and they're like, oh, that's communism, and it's like, oh fuck, it's
And that's just their view. That's their view. Thank you for circling around for that. Yeah, because we kind of skipped over what we're talking about, the
yeah.
reveal.
Okay.
So, all right. So please continue.
All right. So let's just first off, let's take a look at this one. Kind of surprised me. And Leonard Cohen did a song, Hallelujah. He died not too long ago. Um,
Taken
um,
out.
and he, whoops, yeah. And in that song, Hallelujah is beautiful. I love hearing it sung, and different people are doing it. In
And it's
different,
profoundly sad and depressing, even though it's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, exactly. All right, come
Yeah.
on. Why am I not? All right, there we go. Share that. And then I'm trying to
But
it's
there's a
hard to
different
like
song.
rub my tummy and tap my head at the same time, and
But
this
there's a
is,
different song that, yeah, I'll help a little bit, that Leonard Cohen wrote that was almost not quite as popular, but very profound.
yeah. And okay, and actually I don't know if I can make it any bigger.
That'd be
I'll
great.
Yeah, so let
Any
me know if
kind
it
of
gets,
zoom in
is that
action
getting
there.
bigger
Yes.
on your end? Okay, good. All right, so this is called First We Take Manhattan, or people say First We Take Manhattan, then we take Berlin. Interestingly enough, in my research, I learned this song came out before 9/11. And 9/11 was followed by an infiltration of Berlin by non-indigenous people. I'll just put it that way. And
Insurgents.
insurgents. That's it. That's the word. Okay. I can only handle so much vocabulary in one day, you know. But the lyrics, you can listen to the song. It's a nice song. And it's Leonard Cohen. First we take Manhattan. They sentenced me to 20 years of boredom for trying to change the system from within. I'm coming now. I'm coming to reward them. First we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin.
Mm.
I'm guided by a signal in the heavens. I'm guided
What?
by this birthmark on my skin. I'm guided by the beauty of our weapons. First we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin.
A bunch of symbolism in there. Yep.
Yeah, and it goes
Hey,
on. And
Rosemary.
I don't like your fashion business, mister. I don't like these drugs that keep you thin. I don't like what happened to my sister.
First we take Manhattan, then we take Berlin.
Right. And so it goes on. And so you think, well, that was before 9/11, and there are people that said, what's the meaning of it? Back in 1988, he said, I think it means exactly what it says. It's a terrorist song. I think it's a response to terrorism. There's something about terrorism that I've always admired, the fact that there are no alibis and no compromises.
Boom.
Yeah.
That is a profoundly radical statement.
Very radical. And
that was 88.
And that was 88. 9/11 was
roughly 15 years. Yeah, 13, 15 years later.
Hey, Rosemary.
She is abroad. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just crazy, you know.
So bring us another.
Okay.
Please.
Let's go to Simply Red. I don't know if y'all know a lot about Simply Red. But Mick Hucknall is the lead singer. They're from Great Britain. And I gotta go to my screen share, not my upload. Okay. And he's just got a beautiful voice. I love his voice. I've got a couple of Simply Red's albums. And like he redid If You Don't Know Me By Now. And he does a lot of real soulful rhythm and blues type songs. And this one is on an album. I don't think it was a mainstream song.
Can you make it bigger?
Yes, I'm trying to find him. Where is he? Which one am I sharing? Whoops, wait a minute. I've got all these tabs open and I have to find the right one. All right, let's make it bigger. So this song has it's an upbeat tune. So you're thinking, you know, it's like turn it out, you know, it's really fast paced.
Okay.
But the words, it's like turn it up, turn it so loud it don't ever stop. Turn it up, makes me so proud. I believe in this feeling. Then it twists. Well, you've lost all the things that sharing could bring. I thought you were doing right. But violence and flames and torches and chains are fueling these new northern lights.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you think about violence and flames and torches and chains are fueling new northern lights. So in the northern hemisphere, we're lighting
What's
up
burning?
lights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like prisoners working on infertile land. Took 8 years to find out the score. If you're sick, then you're lonely. Out of work, then you're hungry. The sentence is 4 years more. To me, that shows a cycle of political
political election cycles.
Yes.
Yeah.
So turn it up, blah, blah, blah. All right. Who says poverty and race can be kept in their place by keeping it all underground?
Underground.
Very,
very important statement. Yeah.
Yeah. And ruling the country are unfaithful husbands who spank little boys gagged and bound.
Woo!
Holy shit.
Where the hell does this show up in romantic lyrics? Holy crap.
Yes. There's got to be a
Continue.
better way for you and for me to turn this hypocrisy round. And I love this. The growth of a nation cannot be achieved by keeping the downtrodden down.
There you
And
go.
yeah, and Mick wrote the lyrics.
He wrote that song.
Yeah. And and well, there's a picture of him
He's
there.
encouraging resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
And it's like,
saying turn it up. Yeah.
and how it talks about the fact that people are being kept in their place and that they are they're downtrodden, they're being made to work and toil away for no other purpose than to elect the leaders who keep repeating the same things and doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And the fact that, I mean, he's in Great Britain, whether or not he's talking about American politics, it's in all politics.
It's all Western politics and some Eastern politics are that way. I find it interesting. He also alludes to the trying to be delicate about this. He also alludes to the racial preference for which victims they target the most to take underground. It's talking about racism and so on. And yeah, the minorities were, according to these dark theories, minorities were preferred, such as indigenous people, such as people with African heritages, Latin heritages, Native, indigenous, Aborigine, as well as American Indian heritages were or are in some cases targeted most.
It's interesting, I live outside of Greensboro now, but grew up in Greensboro and very familiar with it. And I remember in the gay community, they used to talk about the 85 corridor because that was all the rest stops on I-85 used to be real hot spots for gay hookups and stuff. And okay. Well, in Greensboro, for those who might not know about it, you've got 85, I-40, US 220. Remember, 85 goes up and down, or north to south, and 40 goes east to west. And then you've got all these other feeder highways, and there's like a convergence of about a half a dozen highways in Greensboro, right around a major area of Greensboro. High Point Road is where I'm thinking. High Point Road, and we're 40 and 85 and 220 are going through there, and 68's going through
Death
there.
Valley. It's called Death Valley for a reason.
Yeah. And what was interesting was this was probably 6 years or more ago, maybe even closer to 10 years ago. I noticed we started having kidnappings, and they were all around High Point Road. And yeah, and Edie says trafficking drugs and humans. Yes.
Yes.
And I kept seeing, like, you'd see these pictures of these really beautiful Black girls who lived around High Point Road or in that area, and they would just disappear and their family wouldn't know. And then I had a friend whose friend's daughter was taken. And she said the daughter, straight A student, very smart girl, and lived in an apartment complex. And she was walking just a couple of blocks away to a friend's house to do some studying for about an hour. And she was supposed to come home for dinner. And she never got home. And she wasn't the type that would just jump in and take off and go somewhere. She was very diligent about her studies and about knowing. Yeah. And they never found her. she disappeared and they never found her. And then it's like all of a sudden, like over the next couple of months, bam, 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 it was one after
Wow.
another. And they were just taking them and get on the highway and they're gone. And we also have a major airport within a few miles of there. So very easy.
This is a hub, to transport stuff quickly. Yeah, a lot of underground stuff as well.
Yeah.
So back to the music stuff. Can you tell us a little more about Lil Nas?
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah.
You got pictures and everything from one of his controversial videos.
Yes. He whoops, let me go to the right thing again. I'm sharing my screen. Come on. This one. This is what I want.
Lil Nas was a crossover in the beginning. He was a crossover hit. Take my horse down the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
That song that had been done a lot, but he redid it.
He turned it into a quasi rap country crossover hit. But he went in another direction after that.
And let me just, I'll go back to the beginning of this. This is called Montero. Call Me By Your Name, Lil Nas. I can't play it because I don't want to get hit with the
copyright infringement.
But first of all, just look at this opening scene. You're up in the clouds. And there's some horns sticking up there.
Yeah, those are definitely horns. But anyway.
Okay, and it goes in and there's like hieroglyphic writings and stuff like this, but it kind of goes in and it looks sort of like a golden city, you know. And here's the lyrics keep coming up every so often. And this guy is under an apple tree and there's a serpent in the tree.
You hit me with a call to your place.
Yeah. And then the serpent, he's there and the serpent's coming down the tree.
Which looks a lot like a reptilian, just saying.
Yes. Uh-huh. And they go, there he is again.
God, he looks like Anunnaki reptilian too.
Yeah. Look at the hand in the background, all that stuff. I'm not phased, only here to sin. Okay. And so they go through this whole thing, whatever, they don't quite show you everything, but they might as well for what all it is.
They're having sex, right?
Yeah. And then there's this carving on the tree. Don't remember what that means. And next thing you know, he's being arrested. And you got to say this. I want to sell what you're buying. I want to feel on your ass in Hawaii. God, whoever knows, But and all three of these are him, yeah. And he's just like sinning, like you're, like you wouldn't believe. And so they make judgment against him, right? And he ends up. The sky is kind of close. He's a fallen angel.
He's a fallen angel. He ends up going south.
Yeah. He goes south and he's going down this tunnel.
Where he meets the devil. And they hit it off.
In more ways
and you
than
see
one.
what they're doing. Yeah. A little bit of doggy style there, right?
Doggy, reverse cowgirl, you name it. And then he kills the devil. And takes his
crown.
Holy shit.
The visuals on this, the video itself is extremely graphic. Definitely, if you want to see the point, watch that, and you'll see Lil Nas X is not the sweet boy he portrayed himself to be in the beginning.
And he does this stuff in every video. He gets more and more provocative and satanic in his presentation that is just it's creepy.
A spiral.
Yeah,
it's a creepy spiral that keeps going on and on. So
And
We were
Christopher says, happy birthday, Christopher.
Feliz cumpleaños, Cristobal. Glad to see that. Thank you for spending some of your birthday time with us.
Yeah.
So, Iris, you had another good one that had a little bit of visuals in it, and it was Justin Bieber.
Yes. Okay. So people have talked about him, whether or not he was involved in the Illuminati and all this other stuff before. And then this one came out, and I've got to pull it up into the screen. And let me get over to the screen. So then, Justin.
So pay attention to, in these video pictures she's going to show you, look at the people around, not just Bieber with his pink shirt, pink hair stuff. Look at the age of the people behind him, the musicians behind him, and notice the odd characteristics of the adults sitting at the table with him.
And just to give you in the opener of this particular article, I pulled the article along with the video. Is his new music video the latest of a long line of Illuminati figures flaunting their horrible misdeeds, or is it the reverse, a spotlight pointed squarely at the cabal and their child trafficking, the conspiracy that has become known as Pizzagate? Okay, so the name of the video is Yummy, okay, and pretty much that's the words. I'll show you the words in a minute, but he
just says yummy over and over.
Yeah, and he
words.
He walks through a back kitchen until he walks in front of this stage in front of a dining room, and all the performers are on strings, and they're all teenagers or young.
Can you blow that up so it takes up the screen so we can see it? So it's on a 1/3 screen at the moment. Can you make it take over the screen?
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. Now we can see it.
Okay.
And so the performers are all children with string puppets, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and wigs. Then right.
He goes and he sits down. Well, I'm trying to get it. There's this funky. You can tell the people are kind of affluent that are around him. And it's also kind of interesting. He keeps this ball of light in front of him. They all have these balls of lights in the middle of their table. Here's another table where they're all just kind of
weird.
Yeah.
Mismatched. Yeah.
And look at this person. Wait a minute. Whoops.
Eccentric would be a better word. Yeah.
Okay. Who does that look like? A little bit.
It looks like a man dressed as a woman.
Looks like Podesta.
It's what I'm seeing is a profile of half his head, so I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, it looks
definitely a man dressed as a woman.
And then you go on through. Okay, Justin, here's this person, another sort of John Podesta lookalike. And he's talking with these people who all have lots of money, and they got all kinds of weird food going around. And you can see the people in the background are dressed kind of funky and different things going on. And then here's the table from the top, and you can see these older, affluent people sitting at the different tables. And then you look at the food that they've got on the table. Lots of Jello molds and
it's a whole bunch of gelatin. Yeah, it's a lot of gelatin type based stuff.
Yeah,
which is if you know what gelatin's made from, it's a little creepy. But anyway.
And then there's a cat walking across the table for whatever reason. You got the children again. There's a cheese sandwich. Looks like somebody's looking at you with their tongue hanging out. Chopstick.
The Red Lobster. That's a symbol as well. So
here's somebody kind of androgynous looking.
Yeah. And you notice that when his hand is a red paintbrush rather than a fork.
Ah, the paintings.
Mm-hmm. And the
And
red.
look at the Grecian statues. They're all serving. And
Obviously,
then
an exclusive private party that has very unusual characteristics. So the whole song is about yummy, yummy, yum. And the rollout of that is during its promotions, you said he showed up, what, on Instagram, tagging what?
oh yeah, let me go back.
Because that's really what pulls this together as a reveal.
Okay, people were wondering, but right after this came out, he got Lyme disease, and at one point,
in the same breath, uses the infamous
yeah.
Illuminati 13 to post random toddlers on his IG with the hashtag yummy.
So he 13 pictures of seemingly random babies with the caption "yummy" on his Instagram. And he was quoted as saying, pedophiles run the evil music industry. And then right afterwards, he gets Lyme disease.
Mm-hmm. He's not the first person to say that, by the way.
Yeah.
But he said he could be quoted.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. There were a few other names like Rolling Stones and the Eagles that you mentioned, and they harken a little further back. Can you tell us more about what you found with those groups?
Yeah, the Rolling Stones was actually kind of in your face, but it was short lived, and it was oh God, I think this is like from the 90s, and it was a fast beat song, but there was a lot of ominousness to it, if that makes sense. Shoot, wait a minute.
Yeah, music carries a vibe. It carries an intention, of course.
And let me go over here and make it bigger. Okay, Undercover of the Night, song by Rolling Stones. Hear the screams of Center 42, loud enough to bust your brains out. The opposition's tongue is cut in two. Keep off the street because you're in danger.
Stop real quick. Scroll so people can see that. Guys, he's not talking euphemistically. He's describing the trafficking of children and what they do to them in that paragraph. I just wanted to be blunt and say that. Please continue.
100,000 desperados lost in the jails in South America. Cuddle up, baby. Cuddle up tight. Cuddle up, baby. Keep it all out of sight. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The sex police are out there on the streets. Make sure the past laws are not broken. The race militia has got itchy fingers all the way from New York back to Africa.
And another reference to the racial preference. Please keep going.
And the trafficking and how far it goes.
Yes. Racial preference.
All the young men, they've been rounded up and sent to camps back in the jungle. And people whisper, people double talk. And once proud fathers act so humble, all the young girls, they have got the blues. They're heading back to Center 42.
Which is obviously where a code name for where they were keeping them. Yep. Keep it undercover, keep it out of sight. Keep undercover.
Down in the bars, the girls are painted blue, done up in lace, done up in rubber. The Johns are jerky little G.I. Joes on R&R from Cuba and Russia. The smell of sex, the smell of suicide, all these things I can't keep inside.
And that's the end of the song, Undercover of the Night. I'd call that a straight out reveal. That's pretty blunt. So what did you find in the Eagles?
The Eagles was one I wasn't as familiar with this song. And found it in my research and I was like, holy cow. And this is sort of an in your face when there's not a whole lot of reveal to it because it is a reveal in and of itself. Um, and I can make this one bigger as well. Let me see.
Song's called The King of Hollywood. And we're going to zoom in on some of that. There you go.
Let me get rid of some of these ads that are going on. Okay.
He's,
Well, he sits up there on his leatherette, looks through the pictures of the ones that he hasn't had yet. When he thinks he wants a closer look, he gets out his little black telephone book. He's calling, calling, calling.
mhm.
Come sit down here beside me, honey. Let's have a little heart to heart. Now look at me and tell me, darling, how badly do you want this part? Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to be real nice? All your talent and my good taste, I'd hate to see it go to waste. We're going to get you an apartment, honey. We're going to get you a car. Yeah, we're going to take care of you, darling. We're going to make you a movie star. For years, I've seen them come and go. He said, I've had them all, you know. I handled everything in my own way. I made them what they are today. After after a while, nothing was pretty. After a while, everything got lost. Still, his jacuzzi runneth over. Still, he just couldn't get off. He's just another power junkie, just another silk scarf monkey. You'd know it if you saw his stuff. The man just isn't big enough.
Sounds like they are talking about that guy who was famous for exactly this in Hollywood.
Weinstein, but it goes on
Harvey
far
Weinstein.
more. Weinstein.
Yeah.
I'm doing the
Okay.
Berenstein thing. Sorry.
Yeah. Right.
and I will say this: I listened to Ronan Farrow's book. He's Mia Farrow's son. He wrote a book about Weinstein Weinstein, whatever. He worked for NBC for a while and came head to head with Harvey. It's easier to say his first name than his last. And he was doing research and kept getting headed off at the pass. Every time he'd get close, somebody get paid off, somebody, and then and how much
Ronan Farrow.
control there
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Edie's
Ronan
following
Farrow.
along. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Edie's on the ball here. She's giving us the names too. Thank you, Edie.
I knew you'd
Yeah.
get it. Yep. Edie's
So
cool.
that one's just in your face. And if you weren't paying attention, hello.
It would slide under. Now, was that Rolling Stones or was that the Eagles?
That was the Eagles.
That was the Eagles. They
And we
also
did,
Hotel California.
yeah, that was one that a lot of people wondered what it was about. And we were
It's
talking
about
about it.
cannibalism, guys. It's about entrapment and cannibalism and human trafficking. And it's romanticized so that they could make money off of it and keep it hidden. Yeah. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were famous for that weird song. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave.
Uh-huh.
That's a death threat, guys. It's not cute.
Yeah.
You've touched on Elton John before, but in the interest of time, because we're at 10:15, can you throw us a little insights on some of the others, Michael Jackson, Credence, Clearwater, that are a
Well,
little more.
let me throw. I want to throw Elton John in here real quick, okay? Just because it's fascinating. He and Tim Rice. Oops, that's way too big.
They did a lot of music and music for cartoons, Disney,
Yeah,
especially.
and it's called "The Road to El Dorado," and it's a quote unquote Disney song, right? From the
Sure.
movie The Road to El Dorado, and the name of the song is "It's Tough to Be a God." And so you're thinking, okay, it's fun. And it's these two men bantering back and forth, talking about how, this one guy is like everybody thinks he's a god or whatever the case may be. Can you still see the lyrics
Yes.
now?
Yes.
Okay. So it's written by Elton John, and Tim Rice helped with it too. I hardly think I'm qualified to come across all sanctified. I just don't cut it with the cherubim. The town's already on its knees, being worshipped as a breeze. I barely know the words to any hymn. And then the other guy's like, listen, if we don't comply with the locals' wishes, I can see us being sacrificed or stuffed. Let's be gods. The perks are great. El Dorado on a plate. It's great to be a god. Tread where mortals have not trod. Be defied when you're really a sham. Be an object of devotion. Be the subject of psalms. It's a terrifying notion. And it goes on, any normal man would bridle if he's forced to be an idol. And a normal man's exactly what I am. And he goes on, they must have zillions under lock and key, but gods can force them to unleash, even to make us nouveau riche beyond our wildest dreams. So follow me. And and it goes on and on. Look it up, and then
The
remember,
alternative is desire. Yeah.
this is a children's
if-
song.
If religious maniac, you took off the lyrics.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I want people to look it up.
Check out the lyrics. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and think the whole time, this is a children's song.
It's a children's song talking about sex, money, and power.
Yeah.
And screwing people over and being a sham and how that's cool. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the movie. I don't know the context of the movie, but
it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be cute and funny. And it's not. You also find out, the Aztecs, the Mayans and all that, the ones that sacrificed their neighbors on altars and ripped their heart out and used them, until the streets ran red with blood on certain holidays. Those were not just innocent people doing indigenous stuff. They were considered ancestors of the cabal as well. Mm-hmm. In one account, the streets were about a foot deep in blood. It wasn't just a little smear here and there. It was a raging river of blood. They were killing tens of thousands of people within hours. Yeah. Because they were trying to do their thing in that time. But
sounds like they were.
Y'all do the research. Y'all do the research. Find out what I found out. So circling back to music, thank you. Mm-hmm. What about Michael Jackson? What was a title or two?
This one was another one that after I saw the lyrics, I went, yeah, I have heard that. But it never hit me before.
From the song Scream.
Yes.
Very vivid video. Yeah.
It's Janet sings it with him. Tired of injustice, tired of the schemes, the lies are disgusting, so what does it mean? Kicking me down, I gotta get up. As jacked as it sounds, the whole system sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Peek in the shadow, come into the light. You tell me I'm wrong, then you better prove you're right. You're selling out souls, but I care about mine. I've got to get stronger, and I won't give up the fight. Wow. With such confusions, don't it make you want to scream? You're bash, abusing, victimized within the scheme. You try to cope with every lie they scrutinize. Somebody please have mercy because I just can't take it. Stop pressuring me. Tired of you telling the story your way. It's causing confusion. You think it's okay. You keep changing the rules while I keep playing the game. I can't take it much longer. I think I might go insane.
Yep.
And then it repeats some of the stuff. Oh my God, can't believe what I saw as I turned on the TV this evening. I was disgusted by all the injustice. A man has been brutally beaten to death by police after wrongfully identified as a robbery suspect. The man was an 18-year-old black male. And then it goes on back with the song. With such collusions, don't it make you want to scream? You bash, abuse, and victimize within the scheme. Stop pressure me makes me want to scream.
You want to scream? Yep.
Yeah.
It was a very visual video, but when you look at the words, there's more to it.
And in my research while we're there, make of it what you will, but I found this website.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting. He had some attorney that was a good friend of his that
he wrote to.
And these are notes among a collection of letters inherited by German businessman Michael Jacobshagen, who was a close friend of Michael Jackson's for over 20 years. They're trying to murder me, he wrote in a note just 1 week before his untimely death. And he says, I'm afraid someone is trying to murder me. And this is in his writing. Makes so much pressure to me. I have a bad feeling. I'm scared about my life. And then he says, the system wants to kill me for my catalog. And this was a week before he died.
By the way,
And even
guys,
his daughter, his daughter talked about it too, that and at one point she said he would drop hints about people being out to get him. And at some point he was like, they're going to kill me one day. She claimed her father knew that a group more powerful than the government was planning to kill him, and he was eventually murdered in a setup.
Michael Jackson's, the ownership of Michael Jackson's music is extremely valuable in more ways than just finances. The social influence and the wide, has to do with subliminal programming and so on. Pop music is conducive to that. So, and because it was popular, it's quickly accepted and not questioned more easily, blah, blah, blah. So there's benefit after benefit besides just financial and popularity to own his music, which he calls his catalog. Yeah. So yeah, he knew they were trying to kill. He knew somebody wanted him out. And he did die under mysterious circumstances, did he not? They tried to blame it on an overdose by a faulty doctor. No, that's not how it works. Yeah, they know what they're doing.
I think I want to show kind of on the upside. There are people that are singing songs that are fun reveals in a way.
Go for it. That sounds interesting. This is a lot of heavy information. We could use a little.
Yeah, okay, so let's start with this one. Y'all remember Rick Astley, the Rick Roll, Never Gonna Give You Up guy.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
Yeah. And he, I'm trying to think which one I'm on. Okay. He came out with an album called 50 for his 50th birthday. And I've been following him in more recent years. I love his music. He has just matured and his voice is still very rich.
Yeah.
But he wrote this song and I was like, holy cow. And I love the turn of phrases that he uses. It's called Pieces, Piecess. And he says, reaching for my crossbow, I patiently take aim. I've got you in the crosshair. Never going to hurt me or anybody else again. Yes, you rule the world for now. You do. You rule the world for now. You and all your money, you rule the world for now. I'm starting with you, and then I'll take the room to pieces. I'm starting with you, then I'll take the room to pieces. And so he's like, he's got his eyes on somebody, and then he's just getting tired of all the corruption, and he's going to tear it out. And prowling through the city, I need someone to blame. Tomorrow's headline news, y'all will know my name. And yes, you'll rule the now. I'm going to take the room to pieces. Then he goes, I'll put away my crossbow, so empty all your guns. Maybe there's another way to get things done. Yes, they rule the world for now. They do. But we can take the air. They can keep their money. We rule the world for now if we choose to. I'm starting with you, and then we'll find a place where peace, Peace, is.
I'm starting with you, and then I'll build a place where peace is,
And so he's so angry and he's ready to tear everybody up. And then he realizes, wait a minute, that's not the way. So I'm going to start with the next person and we're going to find peace. And I just think that is so poignant. And then
because it's a shift.
Yeah, a huge shift. And I really liked the way he plays that. And then he did this song. Not then he did this song. This is another one from the same catalog, I believe. And it's
Keep
he's
singing.
keep singing. He says, when I was a boy, I saw my daddy crying at the steering wheel. And this is done kind of in a soulful, but it picks up, the beat picks up to it.
Sure.
And he said, I saw my daddy crying at the steering wheel. It made me feel so scared. Then there was joy, found my religion, swimming in a choir of voices. And I knew that I had been spared, that I'd be saved some sunny day, saved from throwing my life away. And then he says, keep singing, praising to the heavens with my voice ringing, clap to the beat till my hands are stinging, and I'd be saved some sunny day. Now I understand I'm a wide-eyed father. Blessed are the children, our greatest rewards. And with these hands, I'll move a mountain, build a castle to keep you safe.
Mm.
And then he's talking about keep singing, and he says, who do you love when it all comes down to truth? Who do you love when it all comes back to you? Who do you love when you're lying in your bed? Who do you love? And he says, you know, you can be saved someday from throwing your life away.
Yeah.
And when you start putting all these songs together that he does, it's like
He's telling a story.
Yeah, he really is. And then the last one is just absolutely one of my favorite all-time songs. And it's called God Says. And I'll show that to you. So the one. Okay. And it's just this lovely story. God walks home through the local park, meets the devil with a broken heart. He says, I've been let down by the armies of darkness. Oh, my whole life's a mess. And God says, I've got the cure. I'm holding on to something pure. I got the cure for you. All you got to do is dance. Pick your feet up. Feel the beat, love. All you got to do is dance. Dance with me. Now the devil thanks God and he's on his way, skipping his stride. What a beautiful day. And then along comes a cracker with a gun in his hand. Beelzebub knows he's got to save this man. And he says, I've got the cure. All you got to do is dance. And so he goes through that whole thing. So the trees became a multitude of angels singing out like a gospel choir. And the benches in the park rose up to become their chariots of fire. They rose up to become their chariots of fire. And the mangers at the front row. And they dance with God and they all sing. And God says, all you got to do is dance. Pick your feet up. All you got to do is dance. Dance with me. And I just,
That's
religion
beautiful.
or not, I love the theme behind
Feel the
that.
beat, love. All you got to do is dance. Yeah.
And it's got a good beat and you can dance to it.
Well, yeah. I mean, the word dance means more than just, rhythmically moving to the beat of music. To
You
dance
got to
with something means
participate.
to participate, to actively participate. Dance with your higher self, whether you want to call it God or the infinite one or creator or spirit or Allah or whatever, higher self, whatever you want to do. Yeah. Just dance, participate with it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent reveal. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Sure.
That is really pretty. So, you also mentioned before the show, we were talking about what is shaming. There's another piece of this, shaming in Hollywood. Can you give us we're at 10:29, but can you give us a brief rundown of how that ties into today's topic?
Well,
Why it
in
caught your attention?
Yeah, in some of these cases, you have people that have revealed too much and they're punished for it, or they're in some ways, just like we've talked about the universal laws that say they're supposed to let us know what they're doing, whether they hide it in the things that they show us on TV and movies and that sort of stuff.
Karma, yeah, they're supposed to reveal it somehow, right?
Yeah. And so some of these are reveals in the sense that they're putting catchy music to it. They'll put happy music over the words, and people don't even realize what the words are.
Or hide it in children's songs and children's movies.
Yes.
Very popular. Disney. Sorry.
Exactly. And so you've got some are deliberate, and then some are just the artists get pissed off and fed up, and they just pour it all out there, and then the next thing you know, they get Lyme disease, or
They
or
suddenly
they get
disappear for several months, and then suddenly a similar looking person with the same name appears
or they
with
go
much
back
less
to
talent.
crazy and shave their head, and
Dyed pink.
yeah, or I mean, look at Britney Spears. Hello. Everybody was cheering for 6 months ago and free Britney, and they did, and now she's dancing half naked in her kitchen and has these crazy looking eyes, and it's really bad. It's on Twitter. They say her Twitter feed, not Twitter, TikTok is unbelievable right now, and they're going, somebody needs to come in and intervene. Who said free
She's not the
Britney?
only one. It's a
Yeah,
distraction. It's a great distraction. They do a good job.
yeah. So it's kind of
So
sad when
shaming, yeah, shaming is a part of that. Which makes you think about artist formerly known as Prince, who also died under mysterious circumstances uh, and was quickly set aside.
well, look at Mel Gibson. He's come out and revealed stuff, and then the next thing you know, he's
Over and over.
a drunk driver and racist and all this other stuff, and so they discount him to make what he said less believable, even though he came right out and said it.
That would be mainstream media dictating what the general public believes about famous people.
And who controls mainstream media?
The CIA and the FBI and the cabal. We're going to talk about that next week. But before we do that, Iris, what do you want us to have as a takeaway from tonight's episode?
I think, I mean, you can believe what you want, and you can say it's all a crock, or you can cheerlead us either way, but it doesn't matter. Um, what I learned personally was I started paying attention to lyrics because I wanted to know what they were saying. I really like this song, but what are those words? And I'm singing along. And then I'd go, oh, I might not want to be singing those lyrics now that I know what it means. And there are times where I'm singing along to a song just because I really like it. And I will stop and go, and I'll look up and I'll go, I'm just entertaining myself. I don't mean these words.
Don't manifest that. Cancel,
Yeah.
erase, delete.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
favorite phrase.
Exactly. This isn't for me. It's just entertainment, joy in singing. That's all it is.
You're
Ignore me
being
for a little
clear.
while.
You're being discerning and clear. Yeah.
Yeah. But
So
but also being discerning and clear about what the songs mean and what their intention is. We keep blinders on. It's real easy to go through life with blinders. And that's exactly what they want. And I had a revelation when my daughter was about 5 years old, and Like a Virgin was real big. And my daughter had a tea party for her 5th birthday. And there were these little girls slithering around on the floor singing Like a Virgin, just like Madonna in the video. And I'm like, oh my God. I was mortified. And then it dawned on me after I thought about it. When I was about 8 years old, or 7, 8 years old, my favorite song to emulate was Let Me Entertain You from Gypsy Rose Lee. And I thought, okay, and if you don't know, Gypsy Rose Lee was a stripper, and they did a movie about her and how she was forced into it by her mother and all this other stuff. I vaguely knew the movie, but most of it went over my head. But I love the song. Let me and my parents would just laugh.
Entertain you.
Let me
Yeah.
make you smile. And my parents would just laugh and kind of go, "Oh my God!" They kind of did the same thing I was doing because I had no clue.
What the innuendo was. Right.
Right. And I'm thinking, my God, they've been doing this for decades.
Nay, generations. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and so and I used to think that Tipper Gore was crazy batshit for wanting to censor all this music and stuff. Who cares? Let people sing what they want to sing about. You don't have to fall into it. But then again, you got to pay attention. And just be
You
aware. Make
do.
your own
Censorship's not
decisions.
the way to do it, but yeah,
No.
learning how to be discerning about music and lyrics and entertainment. Stay awake, folks. That's part of
And
the takeaway.
and then always
Be
ask
be
why.
aware.
What's the purpose? Why are they
Yeah.
singing about this?
What's the message? Why are they giving me that message? What do they want from it?
Because if they're writing love songs to express their emotions about somebody, or they're writing these hurt songs because they've been hurt in love and everybody can relate to those, what are they trying to get you to relate to in the other songs?
Yeah, why are they throwing in words about dressing up children in rubber outfits and leatherette and spanking little boys?
Gagged and bound.
How does that fit into a clean love song?
Yeah.
Oh, Edie,
Oh,
Edie
she was
says
curious. Yeah.
Edie says she's curious about Credence Clearwater Revival. Which song? Give us something to go look at. What song are
Go
you
look
talking
at
about?
Fortunate Son, and it's a pretty obvious one on the surface. The obvious thing about Fortunate Son is it was a Vietnam War song, anti-Vietnam War song. But what's interesting is that's the surface, in your face. People who have money get out of the war, but if you go knock on their door, they look like they're poor, kind of deal is the way the song goes. But then it's lasted for all these years. People still love that song. And all I could think about is how wealth can get you out of a lot of things.
Wealth still manipulates the world. Absolutely. What about a song from Green Day? You mentioned Green
Oh,
Day.
yeah. Green Day did one called American Idiot. Don't want to be an American idiot. Don't want a nation under new media. Can you hear the sound of hysteria? The subliminal mindfuck America. Welcome to a new kind of tension all across the alien nation where everything isn't meant to be okay in television dreams of tomorrow. We're not the ones who are meant to follow, for that's enough to argue. I'm not part of the redneck agenda. Now everybody do the propaganda and sing along to the age of paranoia. Welcome to a new kind of tension. Don't want to be an American idiot. One nation controlled by the media, misinformation, age of hysteria. It's calling out to idiot America.
Amen. Wow. Thank you.
Yes, and I'll put the names of the songs in the chat when we're done. So on
Thank you.
both
Thank
sides.
you.
Yeah.
So that was been wonderful. I appreciate that presentation. I'm sure everybody else has
I
too.
hope so. And it just
Guys,
gives you insights, random choices, but
so we have a fascinating month coming up in May, starting next week. Iris, regale us. What are we doing?
okay. Next week we're singing with Operation Mockingbird. So if you
Woo-hoo!
want to know more about Operation Mockingbird and what that was and how it
Hollywood
still
movies
affects
and
us,
television. Yep.
yes.
And the CIA.
Uh, and thank you, Dale and Jeannie. Say it was a great show. We appreciate it. And then on May 10th, speaking of Dale and Jeannie, Dale's going to join us with the Huna Hawaiian Energy Healing with Shells, which should be very interesting. And then we're
Shells
going to bring
versus Jones. Yeah.
yes, yeah. And then we'll do our psychic readings that we do once a month. And then on May 24th, we're going to present live from Grafton, Illinois. Yes, so we're going to a conference, and me
Together.
and yes, Margot's going to be there, and another friend's going to join us, and we're going to try to do this show live from Grafton. So I'm not going to say try. We are. That is our
We're going to
intention.
do the show live, probably from a campground, guys.
Yeah. So we'll tell you what we're doing
woods.
there. Yeah.
And then we're gonna, cool.
Yes. Yeah. And then we're coming back on May 30th, and we're going cryptid with Bigfoot.
we're squatching, guys. We're gonna be squatching at that point. Fancy squatching.
So
big reveals about the Biggerfoot. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So it should be fun. We're looking forward to the next month's shows, which we enjoy doing them all for you, and we just hope y'all get something out of them and enjoy having y'all with us, and appreciate y'all being with us. And couldn't do it without you.
Thank you. Namaste. You're welcome again. We'll see you next week.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Thank you for joining The Eyes of Indigo with Iris Carter and Margot Ross Sears. Music is Arcadia by Kevin MacLeod of Incomptech.com, licensed under Creative Commons. Visit our Facebook page for broadcast details at www.facebook.com/Eyes of Indigo. Show is copyright 2023 by Iris Carter and Margot Ross Sears. All rights reserved.